Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and headlines from Ukraine. So the Rheinmetall, so this one is the German military industrial complex, commented that they are unable to supply whatever Ukraine needs. Is beyond their production capability. So their CEO, this guy, stated that the Ukraine needs 2 million rounds per year, and the Germans just cannot deal with this demand. They say that they need 10 to 15 years just to replenish its own reserves. And so they're planning to produce up to 700,000 military artillery rounds per year by 2025. So they are probably only able to provide only a quarter of what Ukraine needs in the active major war with Russia, where Russia have not even put in its 100% effort into fighting Ukraine. And the front line is only half of what is possible because the Russians have not uh, invaded back into the Kherson region. There is no fighting over in the Kharkiv region nor in the Sumy or Chernihiv region. Belarus have not entered war with Ukraine as well. So the 2 million is purely based on whatever front line that is currently ongoing, all the way from Kupiansk to the Zaporizhia front. So we are talking about Europe, EU or NATO in general is not really having the industrial capacity to actually build enough rounds to deal with a war, a conventional war with Russia. And we're talking about Germany, one of the powerhouse in terms of manufacturing. So this is actually very surprising. And they also talking about drones. They say that the German government need to be realistic, because there is a new type of warfare. The drone warfare is now being used heavily in the Ukraine war, and to be honest, none of the NATO countries know how to fight this war. Not even most of the world. The drone warfare that is deployed and or employed in the Ukraine war theater is absolutely new, and I think very very few countries know how to deal with it. I think perhaps maybe Iran a little bit. China is definitely working and investing a lot into this, but the rest of the world not so much. So they say that they are now building a new plant in Germany to increase this capacity to meet this 700,000 rounds per year target by 2025. Ukraine will still receive several hundred thousand shells, but this would also mean that Germany have no shells at all. So in the background of all this talk about Russia will invade into the rest of NATO if Ukraine fall, it looks like NATO may not be able to even fight conventionally because they would not have any shells to actually use as artillery systems. So anyway, the German chancellor calls for a transition to large-scale production of defense equipment to deter aggressor effectively. And this is a little slow because Donald Trump have been talking about it since 2018, and he threatened to withdraw from NATO if the NATO members in Europe do not invest up to their mandatory target of 2% of their GDP. And during those days, all of the European countries in NATO, including mainstream media, all laughed at Trump. And then now the Russians are laughing. So another news, AP reported that the EU is now going to move towards using the profits from the Russian frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine. But of course, they're not rushing into this because clearly there is going to be legal implications into doing something like this. They do not dare to touch the frozen assets because there will be massive implications, legally, financially, in terms of trust, in terms of international agreements. Is going to discredit the entire Western world in the rest of the world, in the eyes of the rest of the world, and it will speed up the de-dollarization or the detachment away from the Western world. So they do not dare to touch the frozen assets. As much as they are putting out all the anti-Russia rhetoric, but they are now looking at something beyond that. They are trying to look at the profit that the reserve are generating. all this frozen stuff is generating, which is rather interesting step, because they froze the asset. That doesn't mean that the asset should be able to generate profit, and if there is profit, they can confiscate it and invest it in Ukraine. But of course, I'm not sure what is the legal implication in terms of this, and if Russia wins the war, EU will have to pay back. So this is not a free money per kind of thing. So the EU need to really think through very carefully, because if they are not confident of a Ukrainian victory, all this money will have to be paid back. So they can give, clearly they can give the profit first, just like all the loans that they have given to Ukraine, you can give, but are you going to get it back is another story altogether. So another last piece of headline, Elon Musk has denied selling Starlink to Russia. This comes after there are some video or photos coming out from on the Russian side showing that they are using Starlink, which is very interesting. So however, even Russia actually had denied this, because so anyway, we shall read this. So Elon Musk denied selling. He said that these are false reports. I have actually shared the Telegram screenshot of this post to the DPA Telegram channel. You should follow DPA on Telegram. And so he said that this is categorically false, and to the best of their knowledge, no Starlink has been sold directly or indirectly to Russia. So the Russian government also rejected the fact that Starlink has been used or smuggled into Russia and used within the Donetsk region. He said that Starlink is not certified for use in Russia. It cannot be supplied here. It cannot. So no, they can't have it. So officially, but he did note that it's officially. I'm quite sure that the Starlink is unofficially either sold, transported, or captured in the battlefield. So if they are captured in the battlefield, then I'm quite sure that the Russians will be able to use it. So we shall see how this goes. And the spokesman of Andrei Yusov said on State TV that the Starlink terminals are entering Russia through parallel import, not official channels. So Starlink also said they do not do business with the Russian government or the military, and the service will not work within Russia, but it will work in Ukraine or the Russian occupied territory of Ukraine, because they are enabled for the Ukrainian forces. So if it's enabled for the Ukrainian forces to use, then the Russian forces will be able to use it as well. So if they can confirm that the Starlink terminals are entering Russia through parallel imports, these parallel imported Starlinks will be used only in Donetsk region or in the front lines in Ukraine, which means that all these Starlinks are being purchased for military use. Since they already said that it's disabled across Russia, it can't be used within Russia, then it must be able to use in Ukraine. So this is going to create some very serious conundrums, and we might end up seeing Starlink totally disabled within Ukraine. I'm not sure. Starlink was never envisioned to be a military satellite or to be used as a military purpose, but of course everything good will be used in the military. So we shall see how this progress. And so they also have so all these things are just some history talking about Ukraine using Starlink very effectively, and Elon Musk refusing to allow Starlink to allow attacks on Crimea. So anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys, and also let me know your opinions in the comment. I will read as much as I can. I'll see you guys in the next update.